Let's go ahead and start it up. Turn off the stop-start feature because it is rather annoying to me. And let's take it down the road. Hopefully, I'll be able to demonstrate the cruise control because it has been giving me a lot of errors. I would say 80% of the time, it just this cruise control does not work. It gives me an error up here, and then I can't use it. And it's kind of annoying because it's only on the times in which I was going for a longer drive. So like say, you know, an hour drive and you can't use cruise control, but then I go on a 5-minute drive and the cruise control works fine. So it's a little bit of an annoying thing, but let's try it now. Let's go ahead and try it. Okay, so it seems to be working now. Before it was giving me like a little orange indicator, you know, saying that it just would not turn on. Because the cruise control actually works pretty good when it's working. You do have a long range distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. You can set it to where it's a very far distance or more close. But I like the range that it does have, because some vehicles is a little, even at the furthest distance, it's still a little bit too close for me. So having that ability to have like a really far range and keeps your vehicle from getting too close to the one in front of you, I do like that. So right now we're kind of at the medium distance, and it's, you know, still a pretty safe distance for this given speed. And it's applying brakes right now. So I'm not even touching the brakes. All right, brought me to a complete stop without me pushing the brakes. So the cruise control does work good when it's working. For some reason, I don't know if this particular vehicle, I read online that it has something to do with the remote start. If you remote start it, then there's a higher chance that it may, you know, malfunction or whatever, and they're working on a fix for it. But, you know, as of now, they are, you know, still not working properly. So now it has enough power. When you're just driving it easy, like I'm doing now, it's, you know, it doesn't feel like it's got all this power ready to explode, because it is a big, heavy type vehicle, and, you know, but when you actually push the pedal, it will come to life. It actually has quite a bit of power, and it gets you out merging in traffic fine. It's not a problem as far as that goes. And so that's why I like using cruise control, because it does have enough power to where once it cycles through the gear ratios in the transmission, it basically wants to kind of constantly speed up. So you have to kind of limit yourself and not accidentally keep going over the speed limit. So the cruise control helps with that in this particular case. And it's relatively quiet. I mean, it does a pretty decent job of keeping outside noises out, and the road noise isn't a big problem. The sound system's actually pretty dang good. It doesn't have any kind of, you know, branding. It's like, I guess, just factory Volkswagen system, but it sounds really good. And part of it is that it has this lots of air space inside the vehicle. So that helps out with that really good expanded sound. So I'm glad they went ahead and put a nice sound system in it to take advantage of this airspace. It does really sound good. And it doesn't sound underpowered. It has the nice strong hits on the speakers and all that stuff. It doesn't sound muddy or anything. Now, if you turn the, mess with the bass and stuff, turn the bass up too high and stuff like that, it'll kind of be a little muddy and muffled and all that stuff. But if you had it set right, and depending on what music that you play, it sounds really good. I was very impressed. The overall roominess, as far as the driver, there's lots of room in this vehicle. It is a, kind of a replacement for a minivan. So if you don't want to buy a minivan, this is a good alternative because there's lots of room in here. And I have a full night video as well, and a full detailed walk around showing you all the features. But I just want to show you what it's like driving down the road and what it sounds like and what it looks like. It's relatively smooth, quiet. There is quite a bit of a hood here, so when you're getting close to things, you have to kind of get used to that particular type of hood. Like if you're getting out of like a car or something like that, and you get into this, it's going to take a little getting used to because it does have this area about 6 or 8 feet in front of the vehicle that's close to it that you can't really see. So keep that in mind. Like say a minivan doesn't have this problem. A minivan slopes down fast so you can see closer to the vehicle. This one is like this truck-like SUV, like squareness to the front. That looks cool and everything, but you just got to get used to where the vehicle extends out and that visibility. So I'm going to go ahead and set the cruise control at 60. And at 60, on a nice smooth road like this, relatively level, the RPMs are around between 16 and 1700 RPMs. Nice cruising speed. Engine's not straining. Now, the fuel economy has not been great at all. I just keep watching that fuel gauge drop and drop and drop as I'm driving. So, like this little trip right here, we're getting at 19. I'm driving is super easy so far, and we're getting 19. Now, considering the size of the vehicle and all that stuff, I mean, it's kind of to be expected for a vehicle this size and this amount of power. Now I'm going to turn around on this circle and give a little bit of gas just to kind of so you can hear what it sounds like. The engine and transmission as it cycles through the gears with a little bit of RPMs behind it. So you may be able to tell it has quite a bit of engine noise when you rev it up, and it kind of hangs on to the RPMs for briefly when you let go of the accelerator. So if you're in a tight space, I experienced this in a tight space where I accelerated, trying to get into an entranceway, through traffic. And I pushed the accelerator and it jumped me through, where I wanted to go. But even after I let go of the accelerator, it was still accelerating. Or at least it felt that way. I don't know if it was accelerating or was it maintaining that acceleration that I had achieved temporarily. And it was a little bit jarring because it kind of felt like, the vehicle wasn't responding to what I wanted it to do in that moment. So you want to keep that in mind. Once it gets up, when you're in that rapid acceleration mode, then it wants to hold on to that even for a second or two after you let go of the accelerator. So I'm going to set the distance, the cruise control distance, at a further distance. So we're at 57 now. We're slowing down a little bit because I set it at the furthest distance. So you can see we're quite a ways away from that car now, which is good. I like that. I like the ability to do that. Now you can't always drive. If it's tighter traffic, then you don't want to necessarily be that far away, but it's always good to be as far away as you can so you have more reaction time. And of course, the system will apply the brakes and all that stuff, but you don't want to count on all that 100%, especially if there's an emergency situation.